Alright, hey guys, it's AV Geeky, and in this video I wanted to talk about the struggles of being a Christian and the truth of being a Christian, basically. Um, there's a lot that goes on in a teenager's mind, a teenage Christian's mind, and a teenage Christian's heart, and someone who's just a believer in God. It's it's a hard journey, and I just wanted to share, that those of you who are realizing that more and more day by day, especially during this quarantine, that you're not alone and that you can get through this. And, with this break, with this time of us being kind of on lockdown, it's a perfect time to get back into the word, back into being closer to God. And it's just like, I wanted to have a little more of a serious conversation on my channel because lately I just do like a lot of videos on hair and makeup, and sometimes I do challenges, but I wanted to really just sit down and talk to you guys because I've always wanted to be real, and this is one of the things that I wanted to address on my channel. Just sitting down and talking to you guys for real about Christianity, about struggles, about mental illnesses, about poetry, just about anything that we may be experiencing, especially in this time period. It's just a lot that has been going on, and I not only wanted to address kind of the struggles that I've kind of been going through, but also what this quarantine has been like for me, because I know everybody does like get ready with me's and stuff like that, and does their makeup, but I didn't want to do my makeup because I do want to do my work. I mean, I could be doing my makeup while I'm doing this, but I should probably just not. This is not like kind of a get ready with me. Okay, but first getting into the struggles that I've been going through during this quarantine. So from the start of this quarantine, it has been a bit different for me because I actually left my hometown and I went to New York. I'm in New York currently at my mom's house, and I've been here since they locked down our schools, and my mom wanted to help me ensure that I can graduate this year because this is my last year in high school, and she just wanted to help me out because I have been struggling with my grades and everything for a long time. So some of the struggles that I've been going through is everybody's been social distancing, but for me it's been a little bit more I wouldn't say extreme because my situation is pretty decent compared to others, but for me, I haven't been around like the people I'm typically around all the time, like my friends and my dad's side of the family, my siblings and all that, but I'm over here with my mom and her fiance and my sister. So I still have, I'm still around my family, and it's good, but it's definitely been a struggle for me because being in the house for so long around nobody else but your family and not even being around your friends, I only talk to really two people consistently when it comes to calling and texting. I really don't, I'm not really on social media as much as I used to be because in the beginning of the quarantine, I was on social media every day, every night, and it was pretty addicting, but I had to take breaks and just not do that because it gets too much and you feel pretty drained. So I had to walk away from that for a bit, and now I'm not even I'm kind of tired of it, so I only go on every now and then. And I also I was working at Chick-fil-A before the quarantine went down, but when I came to New York, I had to tell my manager that I wouldn't be working for the time being. And she said, that's cool, just let me know when you come back and we'll figure it out. But, since I've been here all this time, I got a job at Friendly's instead because I don't want to just be sitting around doing nothing, making no money. I'm about to be out of school officially. In my mind, technically, I'm already out of school, but, by law and by the school district, whatever, I'll be out of school soon, and I want to be having some money in my pocket, start working for something, start saving up for things that I have in mind, you know. So I recently just got hired there last week, and it's been pretty good. I've only worked like 4 shifts, but I really do enjoy it, and my employees are really dope. So, you know, I'm having a good time. But, you know, the biggest issue, I guess, has just been the actual social distancing, clearly. Like, not being around people, like, it doesn't even matter if I'm like around other people, because I can go to the store and see people, but that's not what I'm, you know, the type of people I want to be around. I want to be my friends. I want to be around my friends. I want to be around the people like I care about. And the other day I went to Queens to see my family, and that was good. Like, it was really refreshing, and it was just really good to be there and see them and talk to them. And my siblings came up, my dad came up. It was just a good time, and I just had a blast, you know. But now it's like, you know, I'm still trying to get over the fact, not really get over the fact, but get used to the fact that this quarantine might last a long time, and I will not be able to see a couple people for a long time. And it really sucks because I had plans. Like, I had plans for my career. I had plans for, you know, the summer and getting my license and all that good stuff. Like, I'm learning to drive right now, so by the time this is over, I'll definitely get my permit and license and get that out the way. It just really sucks. Like, like, I know a lot of kids, I don't know. I know a lot of kids who are like going through a lot of mental issues, a lot of like emotions during this time period, and they're going through depression, anxiety, stress. And that's my other point I wanted to bring up, how it's crazy how there's social distancing. We don't really have a choice but to just deal with it, and it really sucks because a lot of kids, I'm assuming adults, but I know it's more in like the children, teenage age range, that they're literally killing themselves because they cannot handle being in the house for so long. Like, I don't know if their parents aren't allowing them to leave because they're so paranoid, or they're being cautious, or whatever the case may be. You know, it's really scary because not everyone is in their right mind during this quarantine. Sure, there's people who are like, oh, I'm so bored, but there's people who are actually going through it, and they don't know how to deal with this situation. And it's really like, it hasn't been discussed as much, because I understand, you know, with COVID-19, it's like that's the main thing right now. But I feel like that's not being discussed either. And it is a huge thing. It's a very huge thing, but it's really just sad to know that these kids, these people are going through it like that. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was being in the Word, being connected to God during this whole quarantine pandemic. You know, I had to give a huge thank you to my dad when he came up, because he he's been helping me stay on track basically this whole time. Not like this whole time of the quarantine, but I mean like my whole like time living with him. He's been reassuring me, you know, going to church, whatever, and I've always gone to church, but I've done it more when I started living with him, and I started to really like learn who God is, and not just know that there's a higher being and that there's this man that we call God and he's our father. No, like, I've grown a serious connection with God, and I've learned about Jesus, and I've learned about the Spirit. Like, I'm still learning. There's stuff that I still don't know, and it's almost embarrassing sometimes because I can't answer certain questions when people ask me. Like, I guess not like deep questions, like deep intellectual thinking questions, but more so questions that are just, oh, who is this person? Who's the son? like from the Bible. And it really sucks because sometimes I'm like, I don't remember because I've of course heard these things, like I've heard the names, I've heard the stories, but because I haven't been studying consistently, I don't remember it. And with my dad, he would like really push that onto me and my brothers and sisters, that we would come around the table and we would read like every now and then, and we would pray together, and we would just like do things together and grow together and help us all learn better. It's like a classroom basically. You just learn together, you grow together. And with Christianity too, it's like it's really hard because you think that you have to be, not that you think, but you have to follow certain rules, but you also have the freedom, the ability to do whatever you want. So it's not like you're really, locked down to do these things. It's a choice. He gives us free will. And if you want to, I guess, follow him, if you want to follow God and walk with him throughout your life, you have to give up certain things and make certain sacrifices. And that's one of the things that's like so difficult as a Christian. Like that's the biggest thing of being like, it's so hard to just give up things, worldly desires, things that are not of God, things that just does not praise him. Like everything that we should do as Christians, everything we should do as believers is supposed to glorify God and not the opposite, because that would make us a hypocrite. That would make us, not representing him. It's like we go out into the world and we have to represent our actual parents, like our, the parents who birth you. But if you're going out and doing reckless things, you're giving them a bad representation, a bad name. And it's the same thing with God. And a lot of people do not see that. And it's just really not clicking to a lot of kids, especially my age, a lot of people a little bit younger than me. And it's so difficult as a Christian when you're struggling with that and you cannot teach someone else that. Like, I have enough information that I could like talk to someone on certain topics, but other topics I'm weak. And because with this quarantine, it definitely has not helped me. Like, it's definitely made me even lazier. It's made me, less motivated, made me feel, okay, I'll get it done. I'll do this, I'll do that. Like, I make too many promises and don't fulfill them. And I think that it's really super difficult. Like, it's just so hard to just read the Bible. And like my dad, like I said, I had to thank him because he kept doing that. He kept pushing me. And now that I'm not with him, it's like, dang, I really do have to do this walk on my own, because each walk that we walk is our own with God. And being a believer, it's not easy at all to just pick up a Bible and say, okay, I'm going to read it. Oh, where do I start reading? Like, you have to study, you have to, look at the back of the book, find certain words that you're looking for, whatever. Like, it's a process, and like, we're not perfect. I just want to say that, like, believers, Christians, children of God are not perfect. Nobody is perfect. I'm not trying to tell anybody that, you shouldn't live your life a certain way, or that I'm judging you or anything. Judging, I feel like, is a natural thing that humans just all do. We all do it. It's the first thing we do. Like, you see someone that's attractive, you're judging their looks. Like, that's just a natural thing that we all do, but it's about how you go about it, and that's another thing. But also, if you're a believer and you claim to be a Christian and you claim to be a child of God and you've given your life to God and you want to worship him, that's the main thing. Like, do you want to worship him? That's like, if you want to worship him, then that's like more of a place where I guess other believers can reprimand you or judge you, quote unquote, because a lot of people love to use that. Like, that's the biggest thing in the Bible is thou shalt not judge, and God should only judge because he's the only one that calls the shots. But he also tells us to go out and like, hey, talk to your sister, talk to your brother, you know, not like actual sister, brother, but, you know, talk to your fellow believer. Try to help them out, give them a little nudge, you know. Like, that's why some people, like, in church don't like church people, don't like their parents when they're forcing them to go to church or telling them things. Like, with me, I really get frustrated about clothing. I really do. Like, I love fashion. I love clothing. I love to dress up. I love to dress down. I like to be more on the tomboy side, the more girly side. Like, I like to do it both or do it all. And it gets frustrating sometimes when the modesty topic comes up. It frustrates me a lot. Don't get me wrong. But it's also in you, like, some people don't have it in themselves to realize that the situation may not be correct or what they're doing may not be correct because they've been living their life this way for so long. They've been doing whatever they kind of wanted for so long, and they've always disagreed with other people kind of reprimanding them on their actions. So they kind of just throw in the towel. It's like, I'm gonna do what I want. You don't tell me what to do. So I'm kind of going on a tangent, went on like different ends, but my next topic that I wanted to bring up is schooling. This online schooling curriculum has been the absolute most difficult thing I have possibly ever done regarding school. Like, it's so hard. I've always struggled throughout my entire high school career, and I still am struggling. And yeah, sure, sitting here making a video probably isn't the best idea, knowing that I have like work that I need to catch up on, but I feel like these are things that just have not been discussed because they put us in these schoolings, the system, like the government shut down everything, our mayors, our overseers, whatever, they shut down everything and they assigned us to follow this specific curriculum, this specific guideline to ensure that everybody kind of is still getting what they need to get done. Like, and it's not easy. And I feel like nobody is really talking about that. Like, no adults. All the teenagers are raving about it on Instagram, on Twitter, on Snapchat, on social media. But I don't hear not one adult talking about it. I just don't. I don't hear the teachers asking, like, of course, they're not all going to reach out to us because, yes, we're young adults and we're about to be responsible. We're going to have to learn to be responsible and fend for ourselves. But you're also supposed to help us because we're still young and you guys know more than us, like y'all always say. So, I mean, like, we're so weak-minded. Like, it's hard. Like, it's not easy at all to just pick up a book and paper and just do your work. Like, it's not the easiest thing in the world to just do what you got to do because we have no motivation. We're all just in our beds doing what we want to do. We're all just chilling and nobody's kind of like talking about it. Like, how can we really fix this? How can we really adjust this? And it stresses people out. And that's another thing that probably, messes with a lot of kids' mental emotions, feelings, and causing them to take their own life and all that. So it's just a lot that I feel like needs to be talked about because all these things are just on the surface and nobody's talking about it. And I just want to bring awareness to it. I feel like we should be talking more, and yes, we should all be reaching out to each other, keeping each other uplifted, trying to check up on each other, let each other know, hey, like, I'm here for you. You want to talk? How's your day? But it's really hard. Like, it's so hard. That's like the main thing of this video. It's so difficult and hard. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's just so much more that I could go into, but I'm just gonna like leave it kind of at that. And if you guys kind of want me to go more into it and we can like talk about it more, then we can. But yeah, I just wanted to make this quick video, like I said, to let you guys know that where you're not the only ones. You're not the only one going through whatever you're going through right now. There's someone out there going through the same things, similar things. We're all kind of floating in the same boat, especially being quarantined. It's like we're literally kind of in the same boat. And it's even harder for like people who are going through natural disasters, like, or living on the street, don't have an actual home, or people who never even came back home from college and they're like in their college state and just like fending from like roommate to roommate or whatever. It's a lot that's going on, and I feel like we just need to address it rather than complaining about it. Yeah, that's the one, because that's all we teenagers do, is complain about it on social media and don't talk about it actually. So that's all I gotta say, and I'll see you guys in the next video.